Hello everyone, this is Tom Vogel with Wrestling's Finest PC Pro Wrestling game. We are continuing with our series of videos, and in tonight's video we are going to run a tag team match. Tag team's a little bit different. Tag teams are rated as a team in Wrestling's Finest. This way you get to actually feel the style of the tag team and not just their singles rating. We have a lot of the, regular tag teams, through the history of wrestling, and we've tried to rate as many territory tag teams as we've been able to, and I know there's a lot more we can, and hopefully we will get to those. When Wrestling's Finest first came out as a tabletop game, when you ran a tag team match, each tag team was represented by the two single cards for each wrestler, for each tag team. Problem with it was you needed four sheets on your tabletop, because you had to keep adjusting which wrestler for each team was in, and you needed a score sheet and the fast action cards, and it just was a huge footprint. So the computer game was released, and then I believe about 2-3 years after it was released, Gary and I decided to rate the tag teams as tag teams. So that's where we're at now. So once we pick the tag teams, I'm going to go back, show you how we get there, but I kind of jumped the gun here. So let's get down here. We're going to go, how about we take the Hart Foundation? Bret Hart, Jim Neidhart will take the face. I'm going to control them, so I'm going to leave that alone. And then let's take the legendary Road Warriors. And we're going to take the heels. You'll see heel, and they're going to take Precious Paul Ellering as their manager. Click there, and then we're going to let the computer control, and since they're a heel, we're going to go heel style. Remember, that's very important to match that up. We're going to go normal for the pre-match, and we are good to go.
The following contest is a tag team attraction scheduled for one fall.
So when you select the tag team, this is the step I skipped. You start new tag team match, and then it took you to the screen we were at. So, previously we did the singles match. Now this is the tag team. We've done the Battle Royal, and we've done the Royal Rumble. So for match setup, we're going to set tourney DQ rules because we're going to try to avoid a DQ. And we're going to go both teams, and we're going to go the high level. So we're going to click accept. When you use virtually anything in Wrestling's Finest, but we'll use the tourney DQ rules as an example now. When you select tourney DQ rules, what happens is the disqualification ratings are reduced for whatever team or teams or individuals you selected it for. That's great because it stops the DQ. Typically, you would never use that setting if you were a heel tag team champion or a heel singles, because getting disqualified is fine because you keep your belt. The drawback is you're not able to go outside the ring as much because we're also trying to limit countouts, double countouts, anything that can end a match outside the ring. And my mom always used to have her favorite saying, "Tommy, you can't have your cake and eat it too." Never liked it and never understood it, but I do get it, and I actually use the saying now, and this is an example of it. You can stop the DQ, but you have to give something back, and that's limited outside ring. So we have that part set up. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set the time limit, and we're going to go 60 minutes. I'm going to go OK. I don't think we're going to set a champion for this match. We'll just leave it alone. Next thing we'll do is our trade hold recommendations. So here we are at the trading holds, and the computer suggests we trade power move to arm hold and pile driver to speed move for the Hart Foundation. So let's go ahead and do it. Reason is if you look here, power moves, you'll see the Road Warriors have a 45% chance of countering it. But if you switch it to an arm hold, you'll see somewhere along here they only have a 10% chance right there. And a pile driver by the Hart Foundation has a 40% chance of being countered. So if you trade that to a speed move, then it's also 10%. So we're going to go ahead and make those trades. So we're going to go grab pile driver since it's right there. We're going to go power moves. Find it here. And for the pile driver, we're going to switch to a speed move. And for the power move, we're going to switch it to an arm hold. Right there. And you'll notice Road Warriors have counters for a pile driver 16, power move 18. So for the traded holds, it goes to 4. A reminder too, whenever you trade out of a move to something else, if that move results as a result of it being traded, in other words, say pile driver comes up in this match, that will automatically get traded to a speed move. If the move is not countered, the Hart Foundation cannot attempt a pin since it's a traded to move. However, if during the match the Hart Foundation has a speed move come up on its own and not because it was traded to, then they do have the possibility of going for the pin. So we're going to go, okay, here we're going to go, they want pin hold to arm hold, so we'll go ahead and do that because pin holds, look at that counter, just saw it here, it's 32.5. And for an arm hold, if we come down here, you'll see it's only 10% for the Hart Foundation. So they're going to go ahead and trade out of that. We can go pin holds to arm holds. Right there, and you'll see the counter is now only 4. So we're going to click OK. And then we are going to click Done. So you can see we're now back at the game screen, and we're pretty much ready to get this started. So let's get it going. Raquel Welch or Sophia Loren, 2 of the most beautiful women in the world ever. And if you're too young to know who they are, please, Google is your friend. So, we're back here. Let's take a quick look at the strategy cards, because one strategy card that is so important in a tag team match is outside help. Outside help can be used to call for your manager, can call for somebody to come save you, but probably most importantly, it can actually call for your partner to come in and help break a pin or submission attempt up. Very important to have those. Might be the most important strategy card in a tag team match. Now, here the Hart Foundation has a specific specialty hold, which is huge. They can stop a DQ. They got another specific specialty hold. They got a specialty hold section. Another stop DQ. Another stop DQ. They're at a big disadvantage here, folks. No outside help card. Let's see what the Road Warriors have. Counter a move, a strategy card. They can leave the ring, catch a breather if they want. Outside help, very important. Another outside help. Stop another DQ. Go for a foreign object after a successful hold. And stop another DQ. Let's look at real quick the Hart Foundation. Their specialty move. I want to show you something here. Some teams will have a TT. That's a tag team move. Excellent move. One of the best in the game. Road Warriors have the best move in the game for tag teams, the Doomsday device. If either team lands that, very good chances for them. Want to point out, everybody knows how dominant the Road Warriors were through their whole career and everything. One thing I want to point out, a big weakness of theirs, is the stamina. If you look at the Hart Foundation, they're 123, while the Road Warriors are only 77. That can come into play, and again, as a reminder, every time, we'll just say the Road Warriors, every time they hit 77, their pin rating and submission ratings, the first 2 numbers will increase by 5. That's their second stamina rating. So their pin rating, even though it starts out better in this match, is going to climb faster due to their low stamina. So, I think we've talked enough. Let's get this going. We have pre-match. Hart Foundation stretches out by pulling on rig ropes. Road Warriors gets ready to attack. He senses it and quickly turns around. So no pre-match attack. That was kind of cool. Road Warriors start off with a legal low blow, or illegal, sorry, and they can't get the 1 count. Double team. You'll see that in tag team. Hold the opponent on the mat, jump onto his arm, 20 off. Unsure what to do, they make a mistake. Let's see if the Hart Foundation can capitalize. Sucker punches him. Oh, temper's flaring. Road Warriors drop a leg across the chest. We have a kick. Another double team, 15 off. Road Warriors called for their manager to help. Paul Ellering zones in on the match, disregarding the jeers from the crowd. So in that case, nothing really happened. We have a no action. Road Warriors have their body slam countered, and we got quick tags, double teaming, and kept them in the corner, 35 off. Another 35 off. They're doing a great job of quick tagging. And how that comes into play, I want to point this out. Every team has 2 tag team ratings. The first is based out of 35, so they're very, very good at 33. And their second one is based out of 10 for double teaming. They're an 8. If you look at the Road Warriors, they're the best, 35 and an 8. So we have 2 very, very strong tag teams. Teams that team together on a regular basis and for a lengthy time and, had some success winning titles. They are going to have higher ratings, and it is a huge difference even between 35 and 33. Just 2 numbers can make a big difference. So take teams that only teamed up once in a while, maybe in a territory. You're going to see a lot of like 27 and 28s, and they will be at an extreme disadvantage when, say, they were to go up against either of these teams. Night and day if you got a 33 versus a 27. So let's continue on here. You'll notice Road Warriors are already down to 2 stamina. Road Warriors got control, but they made a mistake. We have a counter on a turnbuckle. Road Warriors going for a specialty move early. Doomsday Device, look at that, 40-40-21. And remember, there is no outside help card for the Hart Foundation. Interference, we will call for outside help. This is a tough call. We're going to say yes, because the chances of getting pinned are high. All right, so they ran in and they got DQ'd. So bad decision on my part. I messed that one up. Should have hoped they kicked out early on. You know what? Let's just replay this match. We can go right to it. Barry?
The following contest is a tag team attraction scheduled for 1 fall.
The beauty of that replay feature down there, that where you can replay match, you can just, everything is set up just the way the last match was. So let's look at the strat. They get new strategy cards, of course. So Hart Foundation right away has an outside help. Can stop a DQ, another outside help, get to the ropes during a pin, that's huge. Can use outside ring, and they can call for outside help again. Very strong cards for the Hart Foundation. Road Warriors, get to the ropes, very good card. Stop a DQ, specialty hold section, stop a DQ, specialty hold section, stop a DQ, stop a DQ. They do not have an outside help card. That could be huge this match. So let's go ahead and get it started. Yeah, I hope my wife never reads this one, but it is the truth. I never know what she's thinking, so kind of same way picking a winner, I give up. So here we go, done. We'll start here. Hart Foundation control, outside ring, couldn't get there. So they go with an arm hold. Road Warriors counter a punch. Double team, 20 off. Good early move. Another double team series of punches. Nothing occurs. Hart Foundation, no action. And they had a legal move, speed move countered. They traded to it, but it was still countered. Road Warriors play a strategy card to stop a potential DQ. Got a hair pull. Another possible DQ they stopped. Road Warriors illegal turnbuckle, get a cheap shot in. Submission move 4 off, arm breaker. They stopped another DQ. And another. How many of those they have? I don't think they have any left. So they got 2 specialty holds and get to the ropes. We have a traded move for the Road Warriors. They traded from a pin hold to an arm hold. Illegal choking, thumb to the throat. Double team, 35 off. Look at that, 97 off to only 5. Body slam. Hart Foundation gained control, but it was countered. Body slam Road Warriors. We're going for an early pin. And ropes came up. Finally, to gain control, we're going for a suplex. 11 off and way too early for a pin. We got a front chancery. Little double team, fair play here. Road Warriors come back with a series of kicks for a double team. Hart Foundation stops the double team, and they're able to inflict some damage to the Road Warriors. I'll tell you, that came back to them having a 33 rating. Had they had anything much lower than that, the odds of getting this result are very slim. So here we go. We got a suplex. A double team that failed, so we go straight to a suplex. We got a 1, 2, and Road Warriors kick out. Possible DQ, the Hart Foundation will stop. No action. Hart Foundation counters that. And they go to a kick, going for a pin. 1, 2, 3! Road Warriors have been pinned! Wow! The stomp on the ankle stunned him long enough to cover and go for the 3 count. Unbelievable. Wow. They had to turn either a 1 or a 2 out of 40, and they got a 1. Even though the computer was controlling and they did not have strategy cards for outside help, I don't think it would have mattered. It was too early in the match for the computer to call for outside help. So they would have still played it through. This was a fluke win. To get a pin when a pin rating's 23, 22, 2, the odds are, I think it's below, I know it's below 3%. It's probably closer to 2%. So, fluke win, but they got the win. Great win for the Hart Foundation. So this match here, we got to see some of the strategy cards at play. So I hope, this gives you an idea how the tag team works. You can always rewind this and, look at some of the things I might have hurried through. But hopefully you get a real good idea on how things work. I'm going to click done here. And before we leave, I'm just going to show you something. We're going to start a new tag team match. Just want you to see all the tag teams that are in the game. I mean, we have a lot of teams, starting with Abdullah the Butcher and Cactus Jack. Abdullah, you can see here, has 4 teams. Show you here some of my favorite. Baron von Raschke, longtime tag team. He has a lot of partners in this. You also have, if we go a little farther here, Blackjack Mulligan has a lot of partners. Bob Orton does. But if you get down here, you'll see, keep going a little bit, 4 Horsemen. Look at all the different combinations of the 4 Horsemen. You have the Freebirds. I believe there's 4 versions of them. I don't really count Michael Hayes and Jimmy Garvin, but they're in there. So you can see lots and lots of tag teams. Iron Sheik has a lot of partners. Ivan Koloff. Just Jimmy Snuka. Lots and lots of tag teams. I wish I could remember exactly how many are in the game, but I think we're approaching 500 maybe. So lot of combinations. If you're running a wrestling territory or your wrestling world, it's nice when you get a couple singles wrestlers who can then also tag up as a tag team. So for example, if you wanted to have Ivan Koloff and he had another wrestler in the territory, it could lead to them being able to tag up since they are rated as a tag team. We do continue to rate tag teams from the territory days. It's getting kind of hard to rate the regular tag teams because most of them have been rated, and the ones that haven't simply means we can't find any information to rate them. But we do have a lot of teams now from the 50s and 60s. Tag team wrestling in the game, and wrestling's finest, very action-packed. A lot goes on. I think you kind of have to slow down even more in a tag team match just with all the double teams, use of the strategy cards calling for outside help. For those that do not use the strategy cards, I do have a system in place where you can determine how often a team should be able to interfere to break up a pin attempt. Most of the time when an attempt is made, it's either going to be successful where he breaks up the pin, but depending on the tag team rating of the other team, a lot of times it can get blocked. So if you have a tag team that has a rating, like the Road Warriors of 35 or the Hart Foundation of 33, not only are they going to get the opportunity to break up the pin a lot due to that high rating, they're also going to be able to block the other team from getting in to save the pin. So that's why the tag team ratings are so important. We've ran tournaments where we put in some lower rated tag teams as far as their tag team rating, and they don't fare as well, even though they're strong single wrestlers. They just don't fare as well as regular tag teams. You occasionally will see, say Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff come to mind. They were around for a while, but they are going to be not as strong as the regular tag teams. Like I'm looking on my screen here, the Von Brauners from the 60s and 70s, phenomenal tag team. Wild Samoans held the WWF title on a couple occasions, have held many regionals. Again, very strong team when it comes to the rating. So if I give you an example here, say I do take the Wild Samoans, and then I want to come down here and let's just say I want to pick Austin Idol and Tommy Rich. We'll go okay.
The following contest is a tag team attraction scheduled for one fall.
So the Samoans are 32-8, which is very strong. Let's see what Rich and Idol are. See, they're only a 27-7. And that difference between a 32 and a 27 is huge. It gives the team with the 32 much advantages in several areas. So that rating is very, very important. But if you want to, let's look at the Samoans here real quick. If I'm boring, you can always leave this video, by the way. But if you look at the Samoans, they don't have the highest stamina. They have terrible wisdom, -9. Specialty moves. They have a foreign object. They have a tag team move, double headbutt. They have the Samoan drop. Very tough team. If you want to look at a lot of hammering moves, and a lot of them are legal. They're about half and half. And if you look at the legal, they'll use nerve holds. And look at the headbutts. 15-24, and their counters 38 out of 40, and their chops are 25-29. Another thing you want to look at on holds is what is the control rating. This column here, it's based on 40. So if you can stay in control, control is so important in wrestling's finest. As long as you're in control, you cannot be pinned unless it's a wild event or some really odd thing. So you want to look at holds. What do you stay in control for most? Now, if you look at Samoans, their control rating is only 35, which isn't bad for arm holds and throws and drags. But you'll see they only have 1 for an arm hold, 2 for throws and drags. But when you get down here, if you go 8-24, it's either whip, ropes, or headbutt. You're up to 37, and it's -7. And then if you go even chops, you got 36. If you look at their illegal, look at all the throat chops, 20-29, and a control rating of 37. So, very important. You look things over. If you look at Idol and Rich, you'll see they have a Thez press, pile driver. Either one means AB. Austin Idol's A, Tommy Rich is B, so either one has a pile driver specialty. They then have the tag team spike pile driver. It's good, but not as near as good as regular tag team finishers. You'll see B, that means it's Tommy Rich. He's the second wrestler due to the alphabet. And then you have the Las Vegas leg lock by Austin Idol, who's the A. So if you look at their card, I don't think anything will really jump out. They do like arm holds. Nothing too major is going to jump out. I'm going to guess they have a lot of choking, punches. They like the low blow. But again, only difference with the tag team versus singles is they're rated as a team. You're going to see tag team finishing moves, specialty moves for some of the regular teams. Now, a lot of teams in the 50s and 60s, they did not have what was known as a tag team finisher. But, some of these teams teamed together for a long time and were very successful in other, in many, many territories. So the other fun part about the tag teams, it's fun to go in and do a lot of research. In fact, I was just talking to my good friend John today, and we were talking about the interns. And I'm just going to pick a team here. Pick Bob and Brad. If you go okay.
The following contest is a tag team attraction scheduled for one fall.
You'll see here the interns, mass tag team, great team, 60s, 70s, 33-8, which is really good. But check these specialty moves out. Chloroform. They used to grab a towel, soak it in chloroform, and they'd use it to have their opponent pass out. They also have the partner switch. That was what they would do since they dressed identical. They were able to confuse the referee and the opponents and do switches in and out. So that's actually one of their finishers. Now that we got Bob and Brad up, you'll see they're a 32, but their double team's only a 6. They're going to wrestle a little cleaner. But that would be a pretty even matchup. Armstrongs are a tough team. So anyway, just thought I'd show you a little bit about the tag team. We got a few more videos. I think what we're going to focus on probably next is we're going to show you how to create your own wrestler set. And then the video after that, using that wrestler set, I'm going to set up a card. And then I'm also going to set up a tournament. We'll do each of those in separate videos and kind of show you how it works. Pretty cool feature that was added with, I believe, version 2. So pretty neat stuff coming up. Again, I thank you for joining me, and I look forward to more videos. Thanks again, and have a great night, everyone.